Hi everyone, I'm Jacqueline Hernandez and today I'm going to be talking to you all about marriage equality. So before we begin, I have to just kind of ask you all something and to kind of put this into perspective and keep this in mind throughout this presentation. Could you imagine a world that doesn't allow you to be with the person you love the most? Someone you want to spend the rest of your life with? We can't help who we love. Believe me, I've tried. I am not really one for labels because I think of everyone as being just a human being. But I know that obviously there are certain labels that are hard to avoid. Like, for example, if you're a male or a female, you have to be one or the other usually. Or if you're in a relationship or not. Or if you're married or not. So keep in mind, could you not be with someone if someone told you it was wrong? What about if you couldn't marry them? Is that okay? So marriage is an important step between two people that love each other. This step and next stage in their life, and I think it should be presented as a normalcy for all that want to partake in it. Marriage equality should just be about love and those two people. There shouldn't be a judgment towards it. I may be considered gay, but I like to think of it as I fell in love with that person. And we just have a connection that way with things in common. I don't see that person that I'm with as another female, and as it's wrong, I just connected with someone and fell in love with them. I mean, isn't that why we fall in love with people to begin with? If you look at the definition of marriage, you will see a situation, or you will see a stipulation, you'll see a stipulation in parentheses. Usually if you Google it, you'll say, define marriage, and there's like a little part that kind of has this old way of thinking. So in the dictionary, marriage is the legal or formal recognized union of two people as partners in a personal relationship. And then historically, and in some jurisdictions, specifically a union between a man and a woman. I have to ask, why even bother adding that little part? Is it really necessary? There's ways of thinking, and it's so segregated sometimes, and I think it's a prejudiced way of thinking. Even though we've come so far, we are still stuck and even backtracking as of recently. The increase in the share of adults who favor same-sex marriage is due to levels of support for same-sex marriage. Most of the issue with marriage equality comes down to generation. Which is true. It does come down to generation, and we have to look at our age and our parents' age, and even if we have kids, our kids' age, how everyone perceives this subject. Changing the way we think. Most of the older generation believe in love and have changed with time. My grandparents, for example, are from Sicily and are very, very old-fashioned. It's amazing to see how much and how well they've adapted to the new ways of thinking. They are very accepting to people marrying who they want to marry. It's none of their business. So I just like to tell that story because it really can happen. People can change. More of the older generation has been coming around. They've adapted to these types of changing and have becoming more accepting. As you can see from the chart that I've displayed, you can see the millenniums and the baby boomers how much they've grown since 2003. There are, of course, the religion influences that do affect why people feel that marriage equality shouldn't be something that is accepted or allowed for everyone. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and tell you I have felt pro-marriage for years, because I haven't. I'm Catholic. I was taught to not judge others and to be accepting of others. I went to a Catholic school, so it had a lot to do with the Bible and what, I had to follow it. And unfortunately, a man being in love with a man and a woman being in love with a woman was a sin. However, religion has transformed and changed. More and more people are also coming out with, which is great for the young to see, and to kind of help with, that stipulation of, if a man loves a man and a woman loves a woman, it's wrong. But we also read in the Bible that we also have to treat others with kindness, and God loves everyone. So to me, that's what God would want us to do. And as you can see, as time has changed, a lot of religions have really grown to accept the same-sex marriage and been more in favor to it. Religion is more open to the idea. And you could see from this chart too, roughly 6 in 10 Catholics now support same-sex marriage, as do nearly 2/3 of white mainline Protestants. That's huge, because those were the two most conservative religions that made you think this is so wrong and this is not okay, which is why I probably felt that way at the time. But as I grew up and as I understood and made my own choices and saw what good people, bad people, what love was, I really came to accepting and to understand why it shouldn't be this way and why everyone should just love each other, and it's none of our business. So, which kind of brings me to society's reaction and equal rights. I talked about when I was younger how I was Catholic and how I didn't really, accept the whole a man loving a man or a woman loving a woman. I wasn't anti-gay or anything like that. I just didn't understand it. I just thought it was weird for me to see a man love a man or a woman love a woman. But then again, back then it also had to do with it not being really a norm in society. You didn't see it very often, and if you did, it was odd. It wasn't illegal to be with the opposite sex, but you could not get married, that's for sure. As I got older, of course, my views changed, and I saw how different life was on the other side in a way, and I also realized that I was attracted to both sexes and ended up falling in love with the person and not the gender. I then realized how harsh people can be and so quick to judge. No wonder people fight back and, have these riots and rallies, but it's also the only way that people get heard. There are equal rights for both men and women, and that wouldn't have happened if someone didn't stand up and fight for what they believed in. Equal rights have provided equality for all races. Diversity has been accepted and encouraged in the workforce and schools in our country. It's human rights. Our equal rights allows anyone, no matter who they are, to be able to just be themselves and not feel threatened or discriminated. So, with all that being said, don't you think that marriage equality is a human right? And a human equal right at that? I look back on my life and I really do wish I was more open, because knowing what I know now, I don't know how I could not be in love with the person I'm with. I cannot understand how anyone who is in love with someone can't be. It's not a switch you can just turn off. I'm not saying this just for myself, because for everyone who's gay, straight, trans, whoever, I think that no matter who you are, you should stand up and speak out. And I can't tell you who to love, so why can you tell me? I can't tell you who to marry, and why should we be able to tell everyone else? I'd like to thank you for your time, and this is Marriage Equality by Jacqueline Hernandez.